loudest voices in the room are screaming transphobe if you try to say that men shouldn't be in women's sports. And hearing all of this and a lot of the negativity that comes out, especially out of my generation, can bog us down, make us feel a sense of hopelessness. But I want you to know that for every person that pushes that kind of crap, everybody my age and even the others that are pushing the leftist, far radical progressive ideology, there are people like me. Maybe not necessarily as loud, because we like the title of the show is called Speechless, everybody, because people have a hard time speaking out when they're met with such hostility from the opposition. But there are people that push back against those lies, and they speak out in the contrast. And there were some college softball players that proved that this week and really showed strength and courage by pushing a faithful message. Oklahoma Sooners women's softball champs have words about their faith that every single American needs to hear. So these softball championships for the NCAA from Oklahoma were on a panel after the game being asked about things that make them joyous and everything. You can hear all of it. I'm going to play this video for everybody because it's just fascinating. We're going to pause it a little bit throughout the segment to talk more and more about what exactly these girls had to say. But here is that video.
Alex Scarborough with ESPN. For the players, I know you talked about keeping the joy of the game, but I'm curious, it's a long season, right? And you guys have had the target on your back the entire time, the win streak being number one. How do you handle the unique pressure that comes with that? How do you keep the joy for so long when anxiety seems like a thing that could very easily set in?
Well, the only way that you can have a joy that doesn't fade away is from the Lord.
Absolutely.
And any other type of joy is actually happiness that comes from circumstances and outcomes. I think Coach has said this before, but joy from the Lord is really the only thing that can keep you motivated, just in a good mindset, no matter the outcomes. Thankfully, we've had a lot of success this year, but if it was the other way around, joy from the Lord is the only thing that can keep you embracing those memories, moments, friendships, and all of that. So that's really the only answer to that, because there's no other way that softball can bring you that, because of how much failure comes in it and just how much of a roller coaster the game can be.
Everything, all of the joy that we have based on moments and experiences and stuff like that are all temporary. And this college softball player, pun intended, hit it out of the park with that answer. But it's not just her. It's not just her. The entire team. Listen to her next teammate answering the same question.
1,000% agree with Grace Lyons. I went through that my freshman year. I was so happy to win the college. I've talked about this before, but I was just so happy that we won the College World Series, but I didn't feel joy. I didn't know what to do the next day. I didn't know what to do for that following week. I didn't feel filled, and I had to find Christ in that. And I think that is what makes our team so strong, is that we're not afraid to lose, because if it's not the end of the world if we do lose. Yes, obviously we've worked our butts off to be here and we want to win, but it's not the end of the world because our life is in Christ, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Our life is in Christ, and that's all that matters. Two of these teammates pushing a God-filled message that say, my time on the field, man, I give it all out there. But what really matters is the eternal happiness I can get from the Lord. And that's two. Now listen to the third.
I think a huge thing that we've really just latched onto is eyes up. And you guys see us doing this and pointing up, but we're really like fixing our eyes on Christ. And that's something where, like they were saying, you can't find a fulfillment in an outcome, whether it's good or bad. And I think that's why we're so steady in what we do, and our love for each other and our love for the game, because we know this game is giving us the opportunity to glorify God. Mm-hmm. And I just think once we figured that out and that was our purpose and everyone was all in with that, it's really changed so much for us. And I mean, I know myself, I've seen so much of a growth in myself with once I turned to Jesus and I realized how he had changed my outlook on life, not just softball, but understanding how much I have to live for, and that's living to exemplify the kingdom. And I think that brings so much freedom. And I'm sure everyone's story is similar, but we all have those great testimonies that have really like shown how awesome it is to play for something bigger. And I think that's just what brings me so much joy. And no matter the outcome, whether we get a trophy in the end or not, this isn't our home. And I think that's what's amazing about it is we have so much more. We have an eternity of joy with our Father, and I'm so excited about that. And yes, I live in the moment, but I know this isn't my home. And no matter what, my sisters in Christ will be there with me in the end when we're with our King. So,
Oh my God. Oh my God. These are amazing messages being pushed from college students, from college athletes. Can you believe it? College athletes. So here's the thing. You want to know, like, you want to know where this came from? Likely, this was instilled to them by not only their families growing up. I guarantee you it had a little bit to do that, but their coach. Their coach. And so that last teammate right there said it's not about a trophy. It's about glorifying God. It's about, you want to know why this team is winning? Is because they have a strong, strong foundation. And so take it out of just this, compare it to the rest of my generation. This girl says, I don't care about a trophy. The majority of my generation growing up, all they cared about was a trophy. All you had to do was exist and you got a trophy. Participation trophies were a big thing early on in my life. It's all about, all you got to do is be there. You got to show up and put in minimal effort and you get a trophy. This girl doesn't care about that. You want to know how you win in the world, everybody? You set up yourself with a strong foundation. And a foundation in Christ is the strongest you can. I believe there's a reference. I think it's from the Bible, and I don't know all of it. Look, I'm a Catholic, and I'm a Catholic because I'm not the strongest. I'm not the smartest, and I know that I need God. I need someone to lean on, and I need the strongest person. And I say person, I need the strongest entity. I need God to lean on. And so, build a foundation on land, not on the sand. I'll find the exact proverb, whatever it is. But don't build a house on the sand. Building a house on land, on rocks, is going to be a much stronger foundation. And building that foundation through Christ breeds winners. And that's seen through these Oklahoma softball players that won the national title. And it's because they had a coach. It doesn't necessarily need to be a coach in everybody's life, a coach, a parent, a pastor, a community member, that help them realize that that's how success is bred and success is made.